Hello, thanks for joining us today. This video features beautiful views of the University of Manitoba campus. Other campuses include the Bannatyne located at the Health Sciences Centre near downtown Winnipeg, the William Norrie Centre located on Selkirk Avenue, and the Northern Campus in Thompson. So this video was taken during the end of summer, early fall, which is typically a really exciting time on campus. Our gardens are still really green and lush, and the campus is busily preparing for new incoming students like yourselves. So now that we've seen a little of our campus, let's get started with today's session. So thank you very much for checking out our video today. We're so happy you've applied to join the University of Manitoba community. My name is Marla. I'm a member of the Indigenous Student Recruitment Team. I'm coming to you from Winnipeg, which is located in Treaty 1 territory, and you've joined us for the Next Steps for New Student series. This one is focused on Indigenous student. So definitely extending a warm welcome to you. And we know that we have many folks from territories and treaty areas from right across Turtle Island joining our circle. Welcome to you. We also know we have both Indigenous and non-Indigenous students that are checking out this video. Definitely welcome. The University of Manitoba campuses are located on the original lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. And I acknowledge those of you who are members of these nations. Welcome to everybody. So the University of Manitoba is initiating a phased reopening beginning with the fall 2021 term. So in alignment with public health guidelines, the University of Manitoba is planning for an increase of in-person instruction for classes of up to 20 students, with the continued need for the remote delivery of large classes. So when registration opens in July, in-person requirements for courses will be clearly outlined. So please continue to check your email regularly for detailed updates in the coming weeks and months. So what topics are we going to be covering in this video? First, I'll talk about the team I'm a part of, the Indigenous Student Recruitment Team, and how we can support you as you transition to a University of Manitoba student. I'll speak to the Indigenous Student Centre, what programs and services this center has to offer you. Next, I'll cover some student support units and partners on campus that you might be engaging with. And the last item, I'll introduce you to the vibrant Indigenous community on campus and how you can engage with us. And we'll also have some special guests, so let's get started. The Indigenous Student Recruitment Team, we are a 3-member team, including Desiree Morrisseau, Nicole Stonek, and myself, Marla. So hopefully you've connected with us before, but if not, we encourage you to reach out to us to say hello. Pre-pandemic, we've traveled to many rural and northern communities in Manitoba and Northwestern Ontario, so maybe you remember us from those days. We work with all Indigenous folks, so that includes Métis folks, First Nation and Inuit students, as well as many others, including mature learners. We support people from when they are considering post-secondary education right through the application process and until they arrive on campus as full University of Manitoba students. We do know that the application process is long and there's a lot of details to work through. If you have any questions at all, it's our job to get the answers for you. So one of the main goals that we have is connecting incoming students to services and ensure you feel connected to the great community here. We work collaboratively with our community partners, and we all want to make sure that you are having the best experience possible. We can also identify funding options, so that might include FANS for Inuit students, Manitoba Métis Federation post-secondary education funding for Métis citizens, and band sponsorship for First Nation students. We can also identify some University of Manitoba award opportunities. So that might be scholarships, which are based on merit, such as having really great academic marks, or bursaries, which are based on financial need. So reach out to us. You can find our contact information by searching Indigenous Student Admissions on the universityofmanitoba.ca website. So this is one of my favorite photos. We have various Indigenous community members standing in front of a building called Migizi Agamik, which is Bald Eagle Lodge in Anishinaabe or Ojibwe. So the gentleman in the shirt with the yellow stripe, that's Elder in Residence Carl Stone, who has guided us many times on erecting teepees on campus. It's really a community effort. Something is learned and gained from working together each and every time. And although it remains closed at this time, Migizi Agamik has served as the Indigenous Community Hub since it opened in 2008. It's a welcoming and learning space for all students and all across all nations, First Nations, Inuit, or Métis, and beyond to all nationalities, all are welcome to come with good hearts, good minds, and good intentions to learn from one another and support one another. Mi'kmaq is meant to be your home away from home. So it has many facilities, including computer lab, printing services, lockers, a kitchen, and a great study space. It is also a smudge-friendly building, and there are many ceremonies hosted here throughout the year. Mi'kmaq is definitely something for all of us to look forward to spending more time in when the time comes and it's safe to do so. I know I'm definitely looking forward to that day. So located right on the main floor of Mi'kmaq is the Indigenous Student Centre. And you can see it right at the top right-hand corner of this photo. You can see the reception desk. So it's home to an amazing staff of Indigenous folks that are really focused on supporting your talents and gifts as you pursue your academic and personal goals. So first up, the Indigenous Student Advisors, who can provide guidance and creating your academic plan, clarify university policies, and connect you with important services, resources, and programming. A lot of the Indigenous Student Advisors also host programs. So I'm going to highlight two of the many excellent Indigenous Student Center programs. First up is Qualico Bridge to Success, which is a free transitional program for first-year declared Indigenous students. It is a community of first-year students who are really going through similar experiences alongside one another. It does also include a peer mentorship if you want to sign up for that, where you'll be connected to an Indigenous student in their second, third, or fourth year. Academically, it does host different events such as study nights, and they could connect you to the Academic Learning Center to identify how you best learn and how to tackle course content. At the University of Manitoba, we have a class that's called Arts 1110, Introduction to University. And this is an excellent opportunity to earn course credit to learn about how to be a successful University of Manitoba student. Now, there's a lab associated with this course, and the cohort just means that you'll be connected to a session that includes other Qualico Bridge to Success students alongside you, where you can deepen your friendships and support one another. There is an application, so definitely head to the website to find out more. We also do have Empowering You Financial Literacy program, where you'll build skills and knowledge on how to make sound financial decisions. So my personal experience, in my first year, I was learning how to manage a household budget, how to tackle some shared expenses, as well as tackling student costs like tuition. I was also managing some awards I was able to apply and receive. And I was doing all of this while also learning how to be a University of Manitoba student. So this program, I would have loved to have in my first year. It'll cover topics from budgeting to tackling debt and how to make your dollars really stretch. So if you want to find out more about these programs and others, definitely head to the website umanitoba.ca/student/Indigenous. So Mi'kmaq in the winter, the season we spend the majority of study time on campus. So luckily the campus looks great covered in snow. So out the eastern door of Mi'kmaq, you'll find 3 beautiful statues created by Indigenous artists, one of whom is a university alumni or graduate. So as I'm sure you recognize, this is a statue of Métis leader Louis Riel. So on to our next section, support units and partners. So everyone who wants to become a University of Manitoba student, they must apply to the program like the University One or to a specific faculty like arts, science, engineering, or similar. So some of you may have also applied to a support unit on campus. So I'll talk a little bit more about support units in order to fill in any blanks or to provide information on those who didn't hear about them before. So support units offer additional supports for their member student community only. So these supports are over and above those that are offered to all students through centers like the Indigenous Student Centre. Students who apply to these programs are pursuing the same University of Manitoba degrees as everyone else. So for example, the Engineering Access Program or NGAP, their students will receive a Bachelor of Science in Engineering after completing the required coursework in the Price Faculty of Engineering. It's just like any other graduate, they will hold the same degree. So most support units offer holistic supports. They really recognize you as a whole person who is a member of a family and a broader community and acknowledges you bring your own experiences to being a University of Manitoba student. So each unit is unique and has their own offerings, so they can vary from program to program. Supports might include things like free tutoring, small classroom sizes, academic advisors, social student networks, personal counselors, or access to counseling. and also cultural connections through elders or Indigenous knowledge holder engagement. 2 of our support units are also able to offer financial supports. So this includes the Engineering Access Program, or NGAP, and the Indigenous Business Education Partners, or IBEP. So applications for fall 2021 has passed for most first-year programs, all but the Indigenous Business Education Partners, who has a rolling application intake. So if you're considering pursuing a Bachelor of Commerce in the Asper School of Business, definitely seek out the Indigenous Business Education Partners program. So other programs include the Access program, which really focuses in on that first year, and it's meant for students that have 24 credit hours or less of university experience. You can be pursuing any degree at the University of Manitoba and be an Access student. Engineering Access program, or NGAP, supports Indigenous students pursuing engineering. Indigenous Business Education Partners, or IBEP, is a supportive community of Indigenous students pursuing a Bachelor of Commerce. Pathways to Indigenous Nursing Education, or PINE, supports Indigenous students pursuing nursing. And last on the list is Ongamswin Education, which supports Indigenous folks who are pursuing professional, advanced entry health career programs such as medicine, rehabilitation sciences, dentistry, or pharmacy. Really important difference too is Ongamswin Education is located on our Bannatyne campus, which is located near the Health Sciences Center in downtown Winnipeg. So this picture is of the beautiful Manitoba Métis Federation Bison Local Sash. The Métis Inclusion Coordinator worked with local Métis knowledge holders to create and design the sash to represent the Métis community who work and study at the University of Manitoba campuses. It's really beautiful. So your experience at the university is personal. You are at the center of your experience. How you design and develop this experience will be based on your interests, your goals, as well as your needs. We want to be sure you are surrounded by a really wonderful and supportive community, and how you engage with this community is entirely up to you. Everything is optional. And there might be terms where your academics will require most of your focus, while other terms you might have a little bit more in time to engage with the Indigenous community, and both are totally okay. So there's many opportunities available to you, which is really exciting. So for myself, working on campus was a really great way to fit my earning needs around my class schedule. I also love connecting to student groups. So taking part in UMISA, or the University of Manitoba Indigenous Students Association, was a great way to meet other students while engaging in advocacy and community building. Now we also have MUSA, or the Métis University Students Association. And there are also faculty groups you may want to join. So Indigenous student groups in architecture, business, law, and the Riddell Faculty of Environment, Earth and Resources do exist. Definitely search them out. So how do you keep track of all the existing and emerging opportunities? And the answer is the Indigenous Student Newsletter. If you declared as an Indigenous student in your application and checked off that box agreeing to receive communication, you're all set. If you want to update these declarations, you are able to do that right in your Aurora student account. Non-Indigenous students can also sign up to receive the newsletter. So the Indigenous community is an amazing one. There are over 2,600 Indigenous students studying at the University of Manitoba. We are a diverse community. We're embracing our own understandings and expressions of Indigenous identity. And every year that I've spent on campus, from my first year as a student to now as a staff person, I've learned so much. And I've always really felt very supported by the Indigenous community on campus. I feel really honored and grateful to engage in ceremony and other activities going on with this community. And I just want to highlight a few different options. So the Indigenous Student Centre elders and residents have been really great. They've been hosting elder sharing circles 3 times a week throughout the pandemic, and they're also available to meet with students one-on-one. Fireside Chats is a lunchtime talk series with Indigenous knowledge holders, and that's been taking place every other Tuesday. Songi Gabawin is an Indigenous-only group for male identifying student individuals, and they're joining together in a really supportive environment. Full moon ceremonies take place about once per month for women and those who identify as women. Also, Data Studies Colloquiums is a lunch hour series offered by the Native Studies Department, where you can learn more about student research. So for any students that are thinking about, what am I going to do after I finish my undergraduate degree, you might be considering graduate studies, where you might pursue a master's degree or a PhD. If you want to learn more about what current students are studying and their research, definitely check out the Native Studies Colloquiums. You can watch past videos on the Native Studies Department Facebook page. So every year we honor our Indigenous student graduates Recently, we've been doing this as virtual events, but one day soon we'll gather again for our graduation powwow, and I'm really looking forward to those days. So these and more are featured on our website, so please visit umanitoba.ca/student/Indigenous. Okay, you are well on your way. I'll provide some endnotes and we'll meet a couple of great folks you might see come fall. So currently you're watching the Indigenous Student session of the Next Steps for New Student series. This series provides guidance on how to get established as University of Manitoba student. There are 6 recordings in total and all are available on our Next Steps website. Recordings provide chance to rewatch or share with family and friends. So definitely please also explore the Next Steps website. It provides resources, links to important first year pages, and much more. You can find it all at umanitoba.ca/nextsteps. Another opportunity to learn more and get excited about future terms spent on campus are our virtual campus tours. Really focused on our main campus, the Fort Garry campus located in South Winnipeg. We really encourage you to explore these buildings and spaces along with our student ambassadors. You can see a full list of our tour offerings online by clicking the yellow Register for a Tour button right on the page, umanitoba.ca/campus tours. A third virtual resource to connect with University of Manitoba is the Virtual Advising Help Center. So during the summer, you're likely going to have a lot of questions. So maybe these might pop up on the weekend when most University of Manitoba offices are closed. The Virtual Advising Help Center is a new online service that connects you to a real person to answer your questions quickly. And it's open 7 days a week. So definitely navigate to this page and save it to your bookmarks. That's umanitoba.ca/virtual-advising-help-center. So right now we have a couple of special guests. I'm really happy to introduce you to Denise and Ashley from the Indigenous Student Centre. Welcome, and please reveal yourselves in the video and I'll let you take it away.
Oh, I don't think you're unmuted, Denise.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Marla, for inviting us here today. It's such a pleasure to be a part of the Next Steps programming. I want to welcome everyone. We're super excited that you're going to be joining the University of Manitoba to continue your studies. My name is Denise, and I am a student advisor and program coordinator for the Indigenous Student Centre. I coordinate the Blankstein Momentum program, which is something that we may meet up in your second year of university, as well as the Empowering You Financial Wellness program that Marla spoke to you about. I am Métis from Winnipeg. I am a first-generation graduate of the University of Manitoba. So what that means is I was the first one in my family to come to the University of Manitoba, to go to any university. There was no one that went before me. I was the first one. I didn't know who to ask for help. I didn't even know where to go. I had no idea what help I even wanted to ask for. I felt super small, really, really lost, and kind of lonely, but I am here to tell you that that doesn't have to be the case for you. As part of the Indigenous Student Centre team, I am here to walk with you on your post-secondary journey and help you navigate the university. Along with my colleague Ashley and my other great colleagues that I work with, we are committed to supporting you holistically throughout your entire academic experience. So we're here from your transition from high school to university, to help you stay on track midway, and to help connect you to supports and resources that are going to contribute to your overall success. Another thing we're here for is to answer any questions that you may have. So whether they're questions about registration or creating a timetable, applying for funding, clarifying university policies, introducing you to programming, or more, we are here to answer those questions for you. So my hopes is that your biggest takeaway from this entire presentation and from what I just said was that you need, in order to be successful in university, these are the biggest things that I think will help contribute to your success. So get to know your resources on campus, especially those at the Indigenous Student Centre, or ISC as we refer to it. Reach out and ask questions. The sooner the better. Don't wait. I am a huge proponent of asking questions. So I ask them all the time. Ashley will agree. And become part of your student community and get out there and meet your peers. And just because we're not able to do it in person, there's so many ways to form community virtually. And last but not least is know that you belong here at the University of Manitoba and that you're not alone in this. There's a whole community wrapped around to support you. So I look forward to meeting you all, and I will now turn it over to my colleague, Ashley McGuish.
Denise, so much for that. Tanze Buzu Tanshe. My name is Ashley Edson, and I am the Indigenous Graduate Student Success Coordinator, and also just an advisor for current and prospective Indigenous grad students. So I'll plant the seed here in saying that, you know, if you're thinking maybe down the road, considering maybe grad studies, which is what Marla is kind of speaking to, considering doing maybe a master's or PhD program after finishing your undergrad. I find it really exciting. I am an alumni myself, where you know, I kind of did my BA, and I didn't really see grad school for myself, and so you know, it wasn't until I did stuff that, you know, Denise kind of suggested, you know, reaching out to my community and taking risks and, you know, being involved in different internships and programming, where I really kind of started to see my path about wanting to be a social worker and also wanting to do grad school. So definitely here. And one thing I would say is, you know, there's different programs, you know, that I think Marla and Denise kind of touched on about that, you know, and so one program I coordinate now is SAGE for graduate students and folks thinking about grad studies, but there's so many things to engage in and spaces that we can be part of even virtually right now. And so I just, yeah, would just like to second that, saying that, you know, that being part of the community can really help enhance, you know, your academic journey and your goals, and just make it just really, really a great space and great time for you during your academic studies. So a couple things I kind of want to point out is that I'm going to add to the chat is, you know, like there's Denise and I here today, but we actually have a whole bunch of different Indigenous Student Centre advisors. And so I really just welcome you to go check out our webpage to explore our team and our biographies, and to set up meetings with us as soon as possible, kind of like what Denise was saying about reaching out sooner than later. And so keeping that in mind, just plugging it in that, you know, you do have on July 9th is the initial registration time where you can access on Aurora to kind of see when you're going to be needing to register for your classes. And so that will tell you when you're going to be registering between the 13th and the 19th of July. And so we always suggest that maybe reaching out to one of us before that to kind of, you know, talk about registration, to maybe talk about your coursework plans, you know, things about funding. Like there's lots of questions and we totally understand that. So I just want to put that out there that we're here for you, that we're just really excited to meet you, and really look forward to our time when we're back together in person and, you know, sharing some bannock and food and, you know, celebration and just being there as a community for you. So just want to reiterate saying welcome, and I'm just so grateful to Marla and the folks through the Indigenous recruitment team that, you know, Denise and I can be here today to welcome you and share some support. So thanks so much.
Great. Thanks so much, Denise and Ashley. I think that all the advice that they shared with you and their experiences are so true, and definitely true for myself as well. You know, finding community on campus, even in this sort of virtual environment that we find ourselves in right now, is so important. So definitely reach out to Indigenous Student Centre student advisors. You can see their contact information on the screen right now. If you want to find out more information about the programs that they spoke about, you can go to umanitoba.ca/. Indigenous, and more information there. So I think I just want to sort of end off our presentation today by just saying thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to view our video. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to us by email. We're available through indigenous_recruitment@umanitoba.ca. You can also just search for Indigenous students admissions or Indigenous recruitment on our website, and you'll get all of our phone numbers and emails there as well. Definitely reach out to us. We are here for you. This is what we do. This is what we're here for. And we really love hearing from students every single time. But for now, I guess we'll end it. And just want to wish everybody a great day. Take care, everybody.